immediately getting fucked, eh?
Montana State, they're they're decent, but they're on a down year this year too. It's a decent win for them.
All right, welcome to the Pump Fake Pod for Friday, January 12th. Little mini slate, but still a gorgeous slate nonetheless. Yeah, and anything over the week that you guys have been noticing with conference play coming in? Spreads are going to be getting a little sharper, but it's been a lot of dogs barking lately. So, I mean, like, feels like any points you're getting in the conference game, road or home, you got to be taking them.
Yeah, it's almost becoming like just take the home team. I mean, if you look at history in March Madness, top seeds have lost 7 games, 8 games as of this. I mean, sometimes like the 2 seeds are losing 8 games. So we'll see if it's expected. I mean, you're watching these big teams. What we saw Purdue lose, we saw Houston lose, we saw Connecticut just squeak by Xavier and cover if you had 4.5, not with 5. Crazy. And then Tennessee losing to Mississippi State, which Mississippi State's a pretty good team. And so is Nebraska. I mean, these teams are good, so it's no disrespect there, but like these top 10 AP teams that are on the road, short spread, take it. Um, Purdue got mollywhopped. If you watch that game, they weren't even close. Tennessee was playing from behind. Houston was playing from behind. These teams just got smacked in the face right away.
Yeah, I think conference play. I think T Mac mentioned it on the Owners Box stream. Like the conference realignment for basketball is going to be pretty fun because I think a lot of these teams that are joining new conferences have like pretty solid basketball programs. Like I think Houston joining the Big 12 for like football is going to be kind of brutal for them because I just don't think they're up to the same competition in football. But for basketball, at least, like Houston has been a legit program for like the last few years now. So them joining a real conference, playing real teams is going to be super exciting. And same, I mean, Cincinnati went on the road to BYU, beat them. They just, they've been looking pretty solid as well. So I think, conference realignment for basketball is going to be pretty fun to keep an eye on. Especially when next year, when those Big 12, Pac-12 teams come over as well, like Washington and Oregon, because those are also solid teams that we'll get to see in Big 10 play. So yeah, but I think Huff's right. Like these home teams, it is home. This is where the home court really matters in these conference plays because people, kids are back in school after a break. They're up. They're gonna make that place loud as fuck and make that road team really sweat it out. So yeah, we've seen an early preview of that so far.
Yeah.
Like one weekend or one night, all the big teams will win. Just like they'll get lucky and some serendipity, but most of the time, if not all the time, it's the road dogs for sure. I mean, or the home dogs, I should say. Trevor, though, Wisconsin goes into Ohio State, though, and then kind of proves them wrong. I think it just proves that Ohio State's not as good as a team as people think they are.
They
Barely
beat
squeaking
the
by West
system.
Virginia. They definitely beat the system.
That system play everyone likes playing. They beat it.
Yeah, something just told me to play Wisconsin in that game, but I couldn't fade Ohio State off the loss coming home. I mean, Ohio State had that game till they finished or let Wisconsin finish on a 19-4 run. Like they weren't even competitive the last like 6-7 minutes of that game. Like you knew it was going to be a brick. You knew Wisconsin was going to get the rebound and score on the other end. Like it was, I don't know. This Wisconsin team's a lot different than years past, and it's kind of fun, but I haven't been able to figure this team out all year. So they're costing me money, and my fandom's taking a hit a little bit because I'm keep losing money on these guys, and so they're starting to piss me off a little bit. But at this point, I'm starting to think these guys are going to be a good tournament team. So they will definitely regress back to Wisconsin basketball here pretty soon, and screw me on that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, they'll make it to the first round and be disappointing.
Yeah, they'll knock off Michigan State or somebody in the conference tournament and then lose to Northwestern or something and be like, yeah,
4 seed,
that's about right.
Knocking off Michigan State, they're going to be an 11 or 12 seed in the Big Ten conference tournament. But
no, they're getting a W tonight. Run. They're going to come through. I believe.
Oh shoot, my bad. I forgot you took Michigan State. I hate Illinois, so go Sparty. But Illinois playing good without Terrence Shannon. They played
Dude,
good against Purdue.
I don't get it. I mean, Illinois is also like plus 12 in the free throw attempt department this game too, so that's not
True.
helping. Somehow Michigan State has only shot 2 free throws. Not I don't know how that was possible. Like Izzo just bitched these kids out in a post game interview for being soft, and then they're gonna follow it up with this or not. Like this is horrible. Like
Can't.
they just blew a lead. They were up 46-40. It's now 59-52.
I know.
19-6 run, just like come on. This is brutal.
Illinois
No
is
answer for
looking
anything.
Illinois is looking solid without Terrence Shannon as well. Surprisingly, I really thought they would take a hit. Obviously, losing him, with all that bullshit that he did or is getting accused of or whatever. But I mean, losing your best player and still being able to perform like this is pretty impressive. So it's honestly shocking.
God, Coleman Hawkins at the fucking screen right now. Just
He's an
I hate that guy.
he's one of my
motherfucker.
least favorite players in
Yeah, I
the
hate him
NBA
too.
right now. Yeah, fucking lanky guy. Well, guys, I mean, you got anything else on the week or anything? I mean, I feel like it's definitely I've changed up a lot of my systems and just factoring in conference play. I feel like most of the time I'm just pretty much systematic when it comes to conference play, but I don't know. I'm gonna switch up my scheme a little bit and try to dive into some things that I normally don't dive into and see a line, see a team, and have to change some things up for sure. So it's definitely been a little wild on all
Yeah.
fronts.
I think I'll contradict myself when we go through these games, but I think I got to stop betting on a lot of teams that cash for us early season. Like PFW fucked me at Youngstown the other day, but I'm probably, like we talked about it pre-stream, I'll probably bet their team total again just because I think they can hit it. But yeah, I think some of the teams that gave us a lot of early money, like even Samford tonight, like that team total should have been a lot easier than it was, but we had to wait for fucking free throws with 5 seconds left on the clock for it to cash. Like I said in the tweet, like they were averaging 95 points at home versus D1 opponents, and then all of a sudden, like we're sweating to get 78. So I think obviously conference play affects that a lot, and who they're playing, obviously, of course, too. But I think some of those teams that just gave us early money, we gotta not. I can't, at least me personally, I can't just blind bet them anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yep, IPFW, if they run into anybody who's got anyone over 6'9" and can rebound, they're gonna get screwed. Like they do not crash the glass whatsoever. They got nobody that can. So their little shticks up here in conference play, other teams know them. So and going back to your Samford thing, I mean, coming back to conference play, teams know each other. Like coaches know each other. They know how to stop them, what they got to do. So essentially just throw it out, and once you kind of figure out what these teams do in conference play, that's pretty much what you're betting on, is this team versus that team. The numbers are kind of just, I don't know, for me, the numbers at one point just eventually don't even matter. Like if they're catching points and they're the better team, I'm just going to take it. I don't care if it's 1 point or 7 points. And a favorite at home, I'm probably going to ride the favorite. I don't care if they're favored by 4 points or
Like
7 points. So
like Utah right now against UCLA,
Yeah.
like just knowing that UCLA sucks. And I love seeing Mick Cronin. We talk about it all the time. I feel like we're anti Mick Cronin, at least Nick and I. Stooley, I don't know.
I don't care for him. He was better in Cincinnati. He's not an LA guy. Like his mind state is, and the way he operates is built for Cincinnati, West Virginia, fucking Big Ten something, not California, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I did not realize that Utah was just running them out off the fucking court. Holy shit.
I'm mad I didn't play them. I talked about it and knew it was going to be an ass whooping. But the last 3 games I haven't faded UCLA, and I'm so fucking mad.
They're outscoring 40-12 in the second half.
Yeah,
I haven't been offered a team.
What was it? They were only up
they were up 10.5, but they're outscoring them by 20.
It was like
it's 40-12 in the second half.
10 to go. Jeez, dude, that's hilarious.
And there's 6:22 left.
Yeah,
Utah's that team
they're
though
gonna
that's
win by
like
40.
Fraudulent good.
I don't think Utah is actually I think they're good. Like I don't think like this won't happen to them, to a good team in the Pac-12. Like they're not gonna lose by 40. I think UCLA is like actually this bad.
Yeah, they are.
I think Utah is like okay. Like it's not like once they play a team like Colorado or Arizona, you just like don't take them because they can definitely compete. But I think this is just really, really outing how fucking bad UCLA is.
UCLA will lose to Washington on Sunday. They will lose at Arizona State. They will lose at Arizona. USC is just as bad. So maybe they play good against USC, but and then they
UCLA
play
and
Oregon.
USC.
They've already beat
That's
Oregon
a
State.
that's a
Oh,
poop
that
bowl right
game.
there.
Mark your calendars. January 27th at USC. Bronny James over under 6.5. He'll score 0. So
No, Bronny will go for like 35.
No, Bronny will
that
go
game.
off on UCLA. Yeah, that's the game
Yeah,
that
he
he'll
will.
look like his dad.
That's the one everyone's circling right now.
But LeBron wasn't LeBron at the game and he just
Yeah, that's why they
blew a
lost.
dud. I mean, I guess he only plays 16 minutes. Shoot more shots. He shot 3 shots, Bronny. All right.
I think
who's gonna yell at you?
I think he's just gotta. I mean, I think he knows his place. I think people just gotta realize that he's just a role player on this team, at least this year. Like, I don't think he'll move up next year. I think he should take some time and play at USC and really develop. But I mean, I think he is a solid player. Like, he's not going to give you 20 points per game. That's not his job, not on this team anyway.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
Jovan Alford. You are my guy. Just know that. Respect you, admire you. Appreciate all the love you've given and inspiration you've given to get me going on actually tweeting pics, talking CBB with these guys. Shout out Jovan. He's a homie. Yes, USC stinks. They're awful. Collier's pretty good, but he's out. So
Yeah, I was gonna
they're
say
even
he's
awful with
gone.
him. Yeah.
Shout out Lad too. I know Lad was riding Sanford with me.
Let's go, Lad.
Boys in the group chat were fucking buzzing.
All right, let's hop into the slate, but we need positive vibes for Michigan State here. At least fucking cover the 3.5 or put. Yeah, I can't
Just
push me, so cover the
guys.
fucking 3. It's brutal. All right, first game of the day. Huff will give you this one. The Indiana man, Minnesota. The Golden Gophers are heading to Assembly Hall.
Golden
Play
Gophers.
Assembly Hall.
The little engine that could, everyone. Shout out. I'm going to shout out the Golden Gophers. They are covering machines. But do they cover tonight or tomorrow as they go into Assembly Hall, Bloomington, Indiana? It should be rocking. Friday night, though, games can be weird. People are more focused on going out and shit, but, it'll still be rocking. It's a Friday night, but I feel like it's just that weird game for IU. But I never fade Assembly Hall, so I am a little still torn on it, just how much I've loved Minnesota, and I bet Minnesota quite a few times this season because they were proven or at preseason were just awful. They were going to be expected to what they did last year, and they've proven a lot of teams wrong. Now they haven't had a big test yet. Minnesota, they lost to Missouri, they lost to San Francisco, they lost to Ohio State. They beat Nebraska. They beat Michigan. They beat Maryland. But like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins in a row going into Indiana. I know Indiana's bad, guys. I've had to watch them, and they're bad on the road. They barely beat Ohio State. So this will be a sweat. I think the line is completely right. I'll be interested to see where it goes tomorrow. But I like Indiana money line here with the safe play. I think Assembly Hall gets the win. The only thing I'd be worried about, though, is IU has Purdue the day after MLK Day on Tuesday at home. So this could be a look-ahead spot for them as well. They're bad. They can't shoot. If you can't shoot the basketball, you can't score points. How are you going to win the game? You got to score points. Dear Lord, what do you guys think's going on in this game?
To their advantage, they are pretty damn tall. So, I mean, they'll have that like under the glass and everything. But, yeah, I don't know. I was leaning Indiana with you, but the Purdue look ahead, this is the only game they really give. Like, if they had to put gun to their head one game, it's this fucking game on Tuesday. I'm going to lean Minnesota in this one. I know IU is at home, can't fade Assembly Hall. I'm not going to fade them, but Minnesota's been playing really good ball. They're going to catch Indiana looking ahead a little bit. It is a Friday night, which is scary as hell. So that place is going to be jumping. So that may disregard the look ahead spots just a little bit. But
I mean, it always is jumping, but like Friday nights are weird too, where the students might be there. It'll be bumping. I'll just say
it's 5:30 or 6:30, so they'll get out in time, pregame, and go to the bar. You're not even
Pregame,
staying out late.
you're right. You're right. I think Minnesota they can hang down low too. I mean, they have a height. I mean, Dawson Knox versus
Ola
Ware.
Joseph is pretty sweet.
Yeah. So and yeah, Ola Joseph is really good. I mean, even if he is a few inches shorter than the couple of Malik Renew and Khalil Ware, but I don't know. I mean that's where the game's going to be won. Hoosiers can make shots in Assembly Hall, but they can't defend the three, and that's where Minnesota needs to win this game is shooting the three ball. Because that's where they're going to win this game more so than the fight down low. Although they can hang down low as well, and I think that's proven in the line here, where an IU versus Minnesota team normally should be -5.5, but the -3. This game's going to be close. I think Minnesota can cover. IU wins.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a coin flip for me. I think the numbers make me want to lean Minnesota, but I think like what Trevor said earlier, like the numbers sometimes in conference play just don't mean shit. Like I think Indiana will be up for it. I think, like you said, it is a look ahead to Purdue, but it's Minnesota isn't a team that they're just going to look by and not prep for. So, like, yeah, I don't know. Indiana has the height. They have the home advantage. They can get some interior points. They're really good at defending the interior, where Minnesota is going to look to get most of their points. But like Huff said too, Minnesota can take advantage of Indiana's. Their 3-point defense for Indiana isn't horrible, but it's something that Minnesota could take advantage of. But I'm not gonna put money on this because I'm with Huff. I think Indiana could probably squeak this out, and it might be a 1 or 2 point win, and Minnesota gets to cover. But then you worry about late fouling if they're up 2 with like 30 seconds left or some shit like that. So I'm just not gonna play it.
You too, most likely. So this line could go to going to 4, but I'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see if the public bets it, if Vegas keeps it the same. If that's the case, Minnesota's going to win. Big shot by Michigan State there for
Tyson
Trevor,
Walker.
Tyson Walker. But no, Nick, I think you're spot on with that, and I think if whatever side you lean, I love live betting. You're going to get plus money for both of these teams at one point. Minnesota will be up early. IU will go to like plus 100, plus 120, maybe even down more to more. So, I think that's another play that you can keep in your arsenal if you don't want to bet it pre-flop.
Yeah, I think if this somehow moves to 2.5 for Indiana, like -2.5 Indiana, I would take that because I do think they win. But if it moves up to like 4.5, I would take Minnesota like pregame. But you're right. Like if Minnesota's up, 4 or 5 points at half, I think you could definitely look at Indiana live because I do think they pull it out. DC, what's good, DC? That's
That's DC. Okay, what's up,
Yep.
DC?
That's good, DC.
Is he NCAA the women's plays?
Yeah, I mushed him
Those are
today
fire.
because I was hyping him up because he was 7-0 in his last 7, and then this unfortunate play today didn't hit. But that's on me because I brought up how good he's
7-0.
I've seen him
Holy
on.
shit.
I've seen those on Twitter. He's been crushing
Yeah,
them.
I'm fucking pissed, dude. Hard Rock
Wait.
will not give me any women's lines, and he's smacking.
Damn.
He's
I'll wake up at 10 and see all
Did he
the
have the
lines.
LSU under or whatever? What was the one play you tweeted out, Nick? I can't remember.
He had
tailed
Santa
it.
Clara today.
This is a while ago, though. This was like a few weeks ago, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken.
My brain cannot go that far back. I have no fucking idea.
One note for this game too: Indiana in conference play, so the 4 games they've played, right? 5 games. They played 5 conference games already. All right, the 5 conference games, they got the number 1 3-point. It's 5 already. Jesus Christ. Indiana's number 1 effective field goal defense in the conference, 44.1%. 3-ball, they're allowing 26.3. That's first in the conference as well. However, they're shooting sub 61% from the free throw line. So I mean, they'll be able to defend, but they can't score. I mean, I think this will be a nasty under.
Can I go on a Frank Martin rant about just freaking IU shooting free throws? They need to go to practice and shoot 100 free throws at the end, just like the old days. Get Bob Knight. I mean, Woodson's a Bob Knight guy. Put him in fucking free throw line after practice. Make them shoot a ton of free throws. It is disgusting watching this. And Trey Galloway missing free throws. It freaking pisses me off. It pisses me off. And every time we go to the free throw line, I have no hope whatsoever, just so you know, because it is awful. And that I'm not saying that's the reason they lost against Rutgers, because they just absolutely stunk the freezer, but they have blown multiple games on just missing free throws and not making shots. We need to move on before I get a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, 4 for 15 from the free throw line is fucked.
Awful.
Yeah.
I think we all could go and at least make 6 or 7 of those and make half of 15 attempts if you can.
Like they played well from the interior. Like they were 50% from inside the arc and 27% from outside. So that could, it's not, I mean, it's bad, but it's not like the worst I've ever fucking seen. But yeah, I mean, giving up 11 points on the free throw line, like even if they go, 10 for 15 or something like that game, it turns up to be, one possession.
Team's not gelling with Xavier Johnson yet. So maybe this is the game that they figure it out. But yeah, they got to figure something out. If you guys got anything else, I have nothing on the total. IU is so up and down with the totals. I'm not touching that.
Yeah, no, I would lean under in that one just solely because IU can play defense in this conference. They've shown, and Minnesota, if 144 points, 127. Ohio State 158. That was on the road, and Ohio State can actually score unlike Indiana. So I mean, I would lean under in this one, especially when you both struggle for free throws. 63% for Minnesota, 60% for IU. So under in that one for me.
Big Ten unders.
Like Minnesota also plays pretty
slow
on offense.
Yeah, they both kind of do.
Yeah, this Michigan State game is getting ridiculous.
This is one game. You take the under, the first 5 minutes, you'll be like, God, this is cooked. But then they'll just die. Like they might, like IU always does this. They come out super hot, maybe, and then they just die. So this is one where you're like, we'll be worried about it, I think, at first, but then it just will come back to form. But we can move on because this is a much better game in the queue. Trevor, what do we got?
Buffalo, Akron. I don't really have anything on this. Akron, I know, has been they've been pretty solid. They damn near beat St. Bonaventure. Lost to 1 on a neutral. Otherwise, they blew out Northern Illinois by 22. Blew out Bowling Green by 16. Won by 4 on the road at Ball State. Shout out the Cards. Now that they're headed home to Buffalo. Buffalo is absolute dog shit. They've beaten one KenPom or one Division I team. That was Central Michigan by 8 on the road, and Central Michigan's dog. So, yeah, they're not very good. They're 55% effective field goal. That's 342nd in the country. They're coughing the ball up in nearly 22% of possessions, 26% from the 3-point line. I mean, they're just not good. Akron's going to be able to get whatever the hell they want. They got Western Michigan on deck on Tuesday at home, so not really much of a look ahead. I would actually lean Akron in this one. It's a ton of points, but I don't care. They're going to get whatever the hell they want tomorrow.
Yeah, no real like play here for me either. I would take Akron just because I think Buffalo is fucking dog shit. I think, like you said, Akron will be able to do whatever they want. Buffalo's defense is 344th in the country. Teams getting up shots super quick against them. They're allowing 55% from the field. Like you said, 350th in turnover percentage. They're not forcing any turnovers. They can't shoot. They can't score. So, I mean, Buffalo could win at like 70-50, and they just won't even like have to play for the last, 7 minutes of the second half. So I don't like anything in this one.
Maybe an under 2, just because Akron will grind you out on offense too. And if Buffalo's not getting anything, they're not getting rebounds and shit. They're going to have very limited possessions in this one.
The only thing that scares me
runs up 100.
Yeah, sorry. The only thing that scares me is like you don't have to grind out Buffalo's defense. Like they're just so bad. Like if it was a competitive team, I agree. Akron likes to play slow and drain that clock and get a really good look before just tossing them one up. But Buffalo is so fucking horrendous that they might not even have to.
Yeah, I mean, at the over hit in Akron Ball State, given I was on the Ball State team total over because they've gone over that number 40 times at home, and they were at home. I'm with you, Nick. I think both teams are playing at a slow pace, but if you really crunch the numbers, 17.9 average possession length versus like a 16.8. I mean, yes, long term, that math is going to work out for you, and they're a slower paced team. But this is an anomaly game. Buffalo is worst, 342nd effective field goal, 307 turnover percentage. They can't defend the 2-point. They can't defend the 3-point. Most of Akron's points, point distribution comes from the 3, but I think that's a stat that just is just because they make threes, three is more than two. They're pretty even down the middle. So I don't think they'll have a problem scoring at all. Um, I'll lay it, I guess, maybe, but I would rather lean actually to maybe towards Akron's team total over. You could probably get um it'd be around the high 70s, but probably most likely a no bet for me. There's some better games on tomorrow, but we'll see.
And
It
a
looked like
massive Saturday slate. So
it'll be like 80
Yeah.
points or so, their team total.
Massive Saturday slate, freezing cold NFL football. God, warm me up on Saturday with some chili. Oh my goodness.
hell yeah. Utah is up 90-44. God damn UCLA. Just I'm never let me post a card without shaming me for not fading UCLA from now on. Like that's 3
Tom
straight games
Crean's
in a
talking
row.
about it. Tom Crean,
Tom Crean wants the job.
he wants the Michigan football job, I heard too.
Out of bounds. Oh, that's a bogus foul. Illinois getting a whistle.
Dude.
Next, Dayton Duquesne. This one, Dayton. They're very, they've been. What is this? How many wins? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wins in a row. So they're shooting for 10 on the road here. They just beat a great UMass team by 4. That was at Dayton though. And Dayton loves to shoot the 3 ball. Duquesne is very good at limiting you to the 3. They're allowing 30. Well, they're allowing you 34% for the season, but in conference play, number 1, 23%. Only 11.8% of teams' points are coming from 3-point land in conference play here. I know it's still early, but it's just something to look at there. But this, I lean home, short home favorite over Dayton. Right, I am. Yeah, Duquesne's laying the points. Yeah, short home favorite over Duquesne or Dayton. Duquesne at home off of 2 road losses, coming back home. You get big Dayton at home on a Friday night. Students will be there. Give me Duquesne in this one. I think they're favored for a reason. I think a lot of people are going to see Dayton catching points, and they're going to be they're on that. So give me Duquesne in this one. I think they're going to do enough to keep Dayton grounded, not run that high flying offense, and get the dub at home for the students.
This is gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Go
Huff.
ahead, Nick. No, you got
No,
it.
no.
Go, my guy.
I just think this is going to be like grind out game for Dayton. I think Dayton's going to fucking really, really make Duquesne work for shots here. They're almost, I think they're bottom 4 in defense possession length. So they're like making teams just drain the entire shot clock to get shots off with an adjusted efficiency in defense, like in the top 100. Their interior defense is very good where, Duquesne actually is relying heavily on the 3, almost 35% of their points are coming from 3, but I do think they could take advantage of Dayton there where their 3-point defense isn't, as good as their interior, but I don't know. I do think Dayton can give up offensive boards for Duquesne. So Duquesne could get some second chance opportunities, but this is one where like I might be just SpongeBob SquarePants. Like I do that catching that 1.5 or plus money on the money line for Dayton is so enticing because they've been playing so well. Like taking obviously losing to Houston and Northwestern or whatever, but they took care of business with LSU and St. John's on neutral, SMU at SMU, Cincy on a semi away game. Like this team seems for real to me because I think especially seeing how Cincinnati's been playing in their first 2 games in conference play, like that win turns out to be even better than it was prior. I don't know. It's definitely like the SpongeBob SquarePants play because Dayton looks so good and are on that win streak catching points. It's definitely, if people, will say like that's the obvious play, the square play, but I don't know. I do lean Dayton for sure. They'll probably end up on the card.
Fair. I mean, I can't really argue any of your points. Mine more of a situational. I mean, Duquesne's shooting 70% from the free throw line, so it's not like they have a crazy advantage there. But I think first game back with the students back, back-to-back road losses, pretty ugly ones too. You lost to Loyola Chicago, and then 19 at UMass, and you're going to come home and get Dayton, and you're laying the points here. I think it's telling you what you need to know right there. I'll probably lock up Duquesne. No play yet, but I love the spot for them here. That place is going to get rowdy too, especially with a Dayton team. Everyone knows Dayton, so that place will be up. They'll be rocking.
I think
Huff,
I think Dayton's getting disrespected here. I'm taking Dayton money line plus money. I think this game's going to go to a pick 'em by game time, regardless of how much money goes on Dayton tomorrow, regardless if Vegas thinks they can win. Um, this line's going to go to a pick 'em. Dayton's a good team. I think they're the much better team, but I completely agree with you. Duquesne with 2 conference losses, coming back from a road spot. That's scary, right? And I think that's why we're seeing this line there. And Duquesne can ball; they can score points. Now they haven't the last 2 games. It's putting up a 61 against UMass, 67 against Loyola Chicago. We're going to need to see a Duquesne team that comes out shooting. And Nick made the best point that this Dayton team will grind you out. The only thing I'm scared of is, does Dayton shoot the ball good or not? Well, they kind of had their blunder against Massachusetts. They played terrible against UMass at home. Terrible. Dayton, where they shoot?
3 for 22 from 3. Dayton that game.
Yeah, I mean they were awful. But they made free throws, and that's what won the game in the end. And they also got out rebounded 45-33. And that number's a little inflated because they got some lucky boards. I was watching this game. So yeah, I think Dayton, it depends how they play. I'm with you, Trevor. Duquesne, not a big home spot, as people know, but it's Pittsburgh. That place is going to be jumping. Duquesne's going to have some students there. It's a Friday night. Just give me Dayton on that. They're just the better team, but I'm definitely scared of the spot for sure. Just because Dayton doesn't really force turnovers. They're not the best rebounding team, but Duquesne really isn't. They have a good offensive rebounding, but defensively, it's pretty even with Dayton versus Duquesne. So Dayton's got to make some threes here. They did not shoot the ball well last game. I think they shoot the ball well this game and really grind out a defense of a Duquesne offense that doesn't shoot the ball very well, doesn't shoot free throws very well. With Dayton shooting free throws in the almost the top 50 in the country at 58th. So I'll just take Dayton on the fact they're a better team, afraid of the spot.
Yeah, sorry, I lied. UMass is the team that shot 3 for 22 from 3. That was
Well, Dayton
totally
shot 10 from 29.
Which is 35%, which isn't horrible, but it's definitely lower than their average. I mean, they're top 5, I think, in 3-point percentage at 40.5. So
but
they can
29
definitely
threes. You miss 19 of them. I mean, that's and they still win the game. That's my cap there, that they still win that game. I know UMass didn't shoot the ball well either, which they probably should have won if they do. That's the scary part of Duquesne here. But they don't on my books, they don't shoot the ball very well. They get a lot of points inside. So I think this game's going to be some scariness, they do shoot a lot of threes. So we'll see how Dayton defends that, and that's where Duquesne's going to win this game.
The other thing that Dayton does really well is their assist to field goal made ratio is really, really good. They're definitely sharing the ball and dishing it, to the open shooter. So yeah, I mean, like I said 100 times, it's definitely the square play, but I think Dayton just is the better team. So it really comes down to if Duquesne can play up at home and how big that home court advantage is. But I mean, if this was at home and Dayton was laying 5 points, I would definitely take Dayton laying 5. So catching,
and that's probably an over every once in a while. Let's smoke a square tomorrow.
Even that is probably an over, because I don't think they'd be 5-point favorites at home. That'd be a 6.5-point difference, but yeah, I think it might be a little bit too short for Dayton. And like you said, I think this could easily move to a pick 'em by tip.
It will.
Because like Trev said, people are going to see Dayton catching points and they're going to fucking splooge and run to bet it.
Yep. Yeah, like you guys are talking about, the 3-point line is going to be where this is won. Dayton 20th in the country, 3-point attempted per field goal attempted. So they're jacking threes up a ton. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Dayton wasn't really projected to be good this year, right?
I think they were, but they lost to Northwestern right away. Or am I thinking last year? I know they had a rough last year. They had the rough start. Just kidding. I'm thinking they lost 5 of their first 8.
Holmes is a baller, but
Ron Holmes is sick.
Dayton last year was not very good.
They were projected to be first in the A10 per mid-major madness. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. No, I don't know how good they expected them to like really be. I mean, them being top 30 in KenPom is pretty impressive. But yeah, I think they were, I don't have other like websites, but I'm sure they were projected at least top 2 or 3. But I think they're still outperforming probably what most people expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fifth
They always
longest
play,
win
they always
streak in the
play a good
nation.
non-con schedule that prepares them for the lowly A10, which is sad because the A10 in the mid 2000s, us growing up, that was the
It was
mid-major
fire.
conference. But yeah, they've been down in the last couple of years. But
Yeah, they
it's
do.
always fun to watch those games. Always play
They
tough.
they do usually have a good non-con because I think they've kind of built themselves as like a notable program for being pretty decent throughout the last couple of years.
Freaking Archie Miller. Jeez.
Colby said Dayton has a potential Final Four team during the COVID year. Yeah, you're right. They were
Yeah,
really good.
COVID killed them. Yeah,
They got
They
screwed.
were balling.
Dude, that was going to be a
There's
fun
a lot of teams that got
tournament.
screwed from that year.
That was a good year of basketball. That was going to be a fun tournament. I'm still crushed.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that when they canceled March Madness. I think that was one of the worst days of my life. 100%.
You know that
That
Escobar
was
meme
awful.
where he's just like that was me. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
the Wolverine on his bed looking at the picture frame. It was just like brackets. I was like, oh man,
My
that
buddy
was
and
a
I
tough
bought
year.
a PlayStation 2 and we got like NCAA March Madness like 08 and just did
With Greg Oden
so
on the
many
cover.
different no, not that's College Hoops 2K8, which is a much better game, but we got like the EA version of like March Madness. Dude, did like a 20-year dynasty. It was freaking awesome. You could like change as a God. Anyway, that was
The good
my
old
Doug's
days.
version. Yeah, it's good old
By the
version.
way, Michigan State got the cover. They lost by 3.
Saw that. Good
Bro,
cover.
that last rebound just to truck up a shot with 4 seconds left was a miracle. Shout out to Soko for not fouling with 0.2 seconds left.
Is Michigan State 7-9?
I know
7-8?
they're not good. I thought they were going to win this game. Like I thought they started to pull away and then they just went cold until the absolute last second.
9-7.
9-7. So they're a wild card team in the NFL. Okay, that's interesting.
It would be really funny is if they're in a play-in tournament.
Hey, last time they were in a play-in tournament, they played fucking UCLA or a playing game. They played UCLA.
Yeah, they went.
And then
they went
UCLA
to,
went to the
Elite
Final
Eight
Four
or something, didn't they?
UCLA did.
Oh,
UCLA. That was the Jalen
Michigan State
Suggs.
made a run one of those years.
That was the Jalen Suggs Gonzaga fucking bank in year.
This is when Michigan
that game
State
was
goes on a
fucking
run.
awesome.
They'll beat They'll beat Rutgers. They'll beat
That was-
Minnesota at home.
That was the year after COVID.
Yeah.
That tournament fucked so hard. That was so good. That was
All right,
Gonzaga
well,
Baylor.
Yeah, Gonzaga Baylor. That was the biggest bet I've ever had in my life was on that Gonzaga Baylor national championship. I had Baylor with the points and then the over. That shit, I had like $1,500 on that game. I was
Jesus Christ.
yeah, that was a lot. I like, oh man, my hands were sweaty, knees were weak. It was the whole shebang.
That was me with Kansas against North Carolina, and you should have seen me at half. You should have seen me at halftime, bro. Holy fuck! And then I've been right about that natties. Other than like last year was free, but I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Baylor Gonzaga, but I had Baylor against Houston that year. That was a great final. That was a great NCAA tournament. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Baylor
tournament does not disappoint. All right, let's 40 minutes. We've gone through 3 games here. Let's fire up this next
let's
one.
quit fucking around.
Fairfield and Niagara. The Fairfield has just been a darling as of late.
Love them.
Oh my god, they beat Marist. Granted, Marist was missing Max Allen down low, their center, but still they beat them by fucking 19 points. It was at home though. They dog walked Siena. That was to be expected. Heading on the road to Niagara now. Niagara's riding a 3-game win streak. They just beat Iona on the road too.
They won 3 games on the road. Buffalo.
Oh shit, those
Manhattan.
were yeah.
It's Buffalo,
true,
Manhattan. Yeah. They kind of played Syracuse Toughs too at the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, that was the day I just took all the ugly ass fucking big spread teams like Arlington and Niagara and I forget who the nightcap was, but it was scary betting on those teams that day. I was like, this is easily just going to lose every single one. Betting on Niagara like that, not a recipe for success, but regardless, they got it done. Fairfield 77.3% from the free throw line. That's top 20 in the country. They're forcing turnovers at the top 40% rate. They're not sending teams to the free throw line. So they're doing, the main shit importantly. The offense has been fine, 35% from three, 50% inside the arc. They're a little behind average for in the country for turning it over, but they can't rebound, which is another issue. Niagara likes to crash the defensive glass a little bit more. They can shoot free throws also, and the three ball, but they don't defend for shit. 54% effective field goal. They're only forcing turnovers on 15% of possessions. Opponents are jacking up a ton of threes on them. So I mean, if Fairfield is getting their shots to fall, they can run away with this very easily. Not really a fan of fading a team coming home, but who the hell is going to a Niagara game? This is not Minnesota returning home for a 3-game road streak or something. This is fucking Niagara Purple Eagles here. So I'm going to go with Fairfield. I think they're favored on the road for a reason. Interconference play, they're going to get this done. I mean, Niagara is coming off of a pretty decent win against Iona on the road, so it's pretty big for them. I think Kinesis, Fairfield will get it done, forcing some turnovers. They're going to hit some shots. They're not sending teams to the free throw line for free points to keep them in the game. So give me Fairfield -2. I will probably end up betting this game too. Fairfield's been nice to me, so I can't really fade him at this point, especially against Niagara.
Yeah, give me Fairfield Stags. I'm with you there. I don't have too much to. I'll answer your question. Greg Paulus's family. He has a huge family. No, I just made that up, but his family will be in attendance, and I think that's really it. But my goodness, I mean, they've been playing well. They've won. This is a game against winning streaks. Niagara's on a 3-game winning streak, coming back home. Fairfield on an 8-game winning streak. Nation's 7th longest active win streak at 8 wins. They're on a 2-game away stretch. KenPom has them losing to Canisius. I think they get it done against Niagara. I'm with you.
Yep, I'm with you. I actually just locked it in. I have 1.5, so I'm just gonna eat the -115 and get that extra half point. But yeah, like you said, I think where Niagara lacks is their defense is really bad. Their interior defense is pretty bad, and I think Fairfield can take advantage of them beyond the arc. Niagara giving up a lot of 3-pointers like attempted for teams, and Fairfield shoots a fairly decent amount. I mean, they're getting 34.5% of their points from 3, which is top 75 in the country. So I think Fairfield can definitely take advantage of them from deep. And like you said, they like to play fast. They're going to force Niagara to play uncomfortable, force them to play up. Fairfield's defense will probably be able to withstand Niagara's offense. Not that it's like anything stellar, but they are shooting 37% from 3 as a team. Probably a little bit inflated playing teams like Buffalo, Manhattan, NJIT, St. Francis. And even though Iona looks like a good win, I think Tobin Anderson is not as good of a coach as people think he is. I think he got very lucky with FDU and kind of lucked his way into a better job at Iona, with obviously Pitino leaving and then him being that Cinderella story last year. But I don't actually think he's a good coach, and I think that roster is not good either. So good for him for getting a better job, but I don't think he's that good of a coach, and Iona is not as good as they once were. So I don't know how much stock I put into that. So give me Fairfield with the short number.
100%. Yeah, I mean, good for you, Tobin, but you're not a good coach. Not to mention Pitino fucking destroyed that roster on his way out to St. John's.
What was he bitching about? What was he bitching about recently?
Who was bitching about who?
Tobin.
Oh, are you talking Pitino? Oh,
no, Tobin. He was bitching about something. I was like, God, I don't like this guy anymore.
No, he's just something about him. I mean, props to him for talking shit about Purdue and then going and beating them in the tournament before it. Cojones to take your fucking 6'2" team to go up against Zach Edey and you guys somehow win. But props to him. But they play that game 1,000 more times. They lose by 50+ every single time.
Yeah, I mean, if you simulate that game 100 times, they're losing 90 of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Purdue just played bad like they always do in March. It's great.
Like you said,
next game.
Team, yeah, good.
Powers Hamburgers. Let's go.
No, you guys can continue your Purdue slander. Do what you need to do. Get it off your chest.
No.
Well, this is a Purdue education. coming up. Purdue, Fort Wayne. No,
That's true.
hold the eye. It's only Purdue now. No eye. Minus for graduates. Laying 4.5 against Rob Morris. Trevor, this has been your team. Nick, this has kind of been all of our teams, right?
Not no more.
But they've let us down.
I'm giving them one last ride.
That's what I'm
Hold on,
thinking,
hold on.
man.
How tall is Bob Morris?
I'm
They
taking their
don't-
team
they-
total. I'm not laying fucking
Bob
shit with these
Morris's
rats.
Bob Morris's tallest player that plays is 6'7" Marquise Hastings, but he's a
They're-
decent rebounder.
No, they
Stephon
got a
Walker,
6'9" guy.
6'7".
Their
Yeah,
average
but he
height
barely
is,
plays.
Their average height is
He
2.5
still touches the
inches.
floor.
2.5 inches taller for Robert Morris for the team.
Alvaro Folgueras from Malaga, Spain. He plays He plays like 16 minutes.
Yeah, he plays about 40% of the game at Sans. I mean, it's not like he's a huge factor, but still. Also, Purdue Fort Wayne, fun fact, they are the 360th tallest team in the country out of 363 Division I teams. So if they play anybody, like this is what we were talking earlier, if they play anybody with size and can rebound, they're gonna lose the game. But look at Rob Morris likes to play fast too because they're fucking short too. They're about average. They don't got anybody that can really that's gonna out rebound somebody because of athleticism or height. But they got taller dudes, so good for them. But this is the spot we were talking about for Fort Wayne, is a team that's not gonna just destroy you on the glass, a team that's not crazy tall, and a team that likes to play fast. This is exactly what Bob Morris does. 58% allowed inside the arc, 55.5 effective field goal, 20% turnover on offense. And Fort Wayne, 11th in the country at forcing turnovers, 23%. They hang on to the ball. They don't rebound, which neither team does. Fort Wayne can't guard the three. In conference play, they're allowing 38% from three. They're shooting 69% from the free throw line. Fort Wayne, same thing, 69% from the free throw line, but they can bang the three ball. And that's the thing they need, is that to go down for them to compete. This is the game they fucking win. They got to get the win before IUPUI, and that's that. This is, you know what? Shit, Nick, we're riding IPFW one more time. This is the exact.
I'm not laying points with them. I'm just gonna take their team total. I can't. They fucking.
I suppose that's probably a smarter bet.
They got absolutely fucking spanked by Youngstown State, and I just don't want to lay points with them. They covered their team total. I think it was like 82.5 or something. That was like fine because they ramped up in the second half and pushed the pace and got points, but they just created such a deficit for themselves in the first half that covering that game was just not possible. Yeah, and they were dogs. They were 4.5 point dogs.
Give me the over. Yeah, I may take team total only for you, but just give me the over. 152 I see on FanDuel, 153 everywhere else. Just a little tidbit for you guys. So yeah, I think I'll ride that. I might take Robert Morris money line, but I can't fade the Mastodons, man. I love this team. But
whoever
yeah,
wins covers. If IPFW wins, they're going to win by 4 or more. If Bob Morris is going to cover, they're going to win the game.
It opened at 5.5.
It's not going to land within 2 or 3.
Yeah, it opened at 5.5. I think the total's just the safer, better play.
IPFW lost at home to Rob Morris last year, and then they lost on the road last year by 5.
Yeah, Wright State.
And they're only returning 22% of the roster, so not very much. And they have less than a year
Morris
of
has
D1
got a
experience
look-ahead spot.
PFW.
Robert Morris got a look-ahead spot with Detroit Mercy coming on.
Yeah, I didn't factor that in.
Yeah, right. Colby, no, you're right. Horizon. These are Horizon teams. He's saying that the line smells a bit, and Tool's been at Robert Morris for a while. He knows how to coach teams. I would agree with you if this was like 6-7 years ago when he like had this Robert Morris team actually winning games, but the last couple of years they've just been in the fucking shitter. So I do agree that he's probably fighting for a job because these last couple of years have been really, really bad for them. And like I said, I don't really have a true opinion on the spread. But I think at PFW's team total sitting at 78.5, like they could easily drop 80 plus. Like I see them putting up mid 80s on Robert Morris just with how fast they play and how bad Robert Morris's defense is. IPFW can take advantage of it.
Tobin got that crack cocaine, man. It's for sure.
Here we
That's
go.
hilarious.
Here's the big game. Huff, I know you're excited for this one. Lead us off.
Oh my god! If anyone bets on this game, you're a degenerate, and that's why I like you. Ryder cannot lay this many points. They're bad. They are awful. But if you've watched Manhattan play, they stink just as much. Um, where's my notes on this game? I literally had notes in this game, which is disgusting. If you pull up Ken Palm, you're a Ken Palm person. It is a bloody nightmare on both sides, offense and defense. The only thing that is green is Manhattan. Doesn't foul very much. Ryder doesn't. Ryder rebounds pretty good, defensively and offensively. They're good down low with the block. Most of their points come from 2-pointers, while Manhattan shoots the 3. But with Ryder not being able really to defend the 3, I would say that maybe a play is team total over. But with how bad they shoot, I wouldn't touch the totals, and I would just. Oh God, I can't lay 10 with Ryder, but I feel like I'm talking myself into taking Ryder here just for how bad
Don't.
Manhattan is.
Ryder lost to Siena.
That's true. They're bad.
But you know, fun fact,
Manhattan sucks, though.
Manhattan has a better offense statistically than Ryder.
Yeah, Manhattan
what?
stinks. Maybe just
Duh.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll just take the under.
Man,
Ryder,
Ryder laying 10 points. They've won 3 games.
just give me Manhattan, I guess, plus 10. Fuck. I think Ryder's.
I mean, I get that they played Penn State, they played Penn, Maryland, Nebraska, and Marquette. But I mean, come on. They lost to Siena. Fairfield beat them at home. They beat Stonehill at home. Congratulations. Yeah, Canisius they won in
Immaculata.
overtime. They just won in overtime. They're feeling themselves. Like they're little old Manhattan's coming in.
How'd this team beat Delaware? December 20th game, I
OT,
guess.
they made 88 points, so they probably shot 50% from 3-point land and 56% inside the arc. 17 of 19 at the free throw line as a 70. Okay, they shoot 71%. But 17 of 19.
Think Manhattan. This is my cap. Is going to be Manhattan covers by 9 or 8, and it's going to be gross. Or Manhattan just goes down 30 right away, like I've seen, and they just give up. Losing by 12 to Wagner at home. Wagner's bad. Both teams are bad, and I think I'm going to call the number once I put a half unit on this game.
Yeah, this game fucking sucks.
But I can't back a team or lay 10 points with a team that's lost to Siena.
No, Ryder shouldn't ever lay 10, but both of them suck. So if, like you said, if you bet this and watch it, you have a problem.
I think I have a problem.
That's fair.
Ryder's 325th in the country at sending teams to the free throw line on defense. Like Manhattan is.
Yeah, but Manhattan can't shoot a free throw.
The worst. Yeah, but if they're going to get there, they're 70%. Manhattan, that's the best thing they do, shoot free throws. They don't get to the line ever, though. They're worse in the country at getting there on offense. But if you're going to give a team that's 41.5% of
that's true.
The field goals attempted, they're getting free throws out of them too.
That's true. And Manhattan doesn't foul very much. Jeez, this game is gross. This might be
Ryder's giving up the 68th most points at the free throw line in the country. Yeah, I mean, shit, Manhattan, 13.6% of total points from the line, 354th. It's a battle of will Manhattan want the contact, or are they just going to settle for jump shots because they don't want to be physical inside? But Ryder's going to foul them and give them the opportunities. It's a matter of if they, give a shit to actually try to get the line. This game's disgusting, though.
This game is awesomely gross.
You're a sicko. Gotta bet it now.
Ryder opened at 7.5. Give me the over. Who the fuck is betting
7.5?
Who the fuck is betting Ryder to move it to 10?
I gave it out to my VIP actually when it opened at 7.5.
Catch it in the Discord for sure. Yeah. Man, I think the total's the play. I'll figure out if I lean the over or under, because Ryder has hit a lot of overs in their games this year as I'm looking at it, while Manhattan has hit a lot of game unders. this year.
Both play fast. I mean, Manhattan conference play sixth longest offensive possession at 17 and a half seconds. Like that's Ryder 17 seconds on defense, or allowing 16 and a half in conference play. I mean, there's going to be a ton of possessions here. It's just a matter of will the shots fall. Yeah, I kind of lean the over with you. It's disgusting. It's filthy, but that would
Let's
be
move on. We
yeah,
should call the number for talking about it so much. My
yeah.
bad.
That's a good point. Next, here we go. A little bit better. Quinnipiac at Manhattan, or at Manhattan. Marist
Look,
got Manhattan on the mind. Little MAC action here. Marist coming off of the road loss to Fairfield. Not a bad loss. That's a great loss, actually, at the end of the year. Nothing wrong there. Lehigh with the loss. So they've lost 3 straight back home. Is Max Allen playing in this one? I know he hasn't played in 3 games now. He's just a backup center that they have. That he's pretty athletic. I mean, he can go 14 points, 12 points, 28, 17, 12. So I mean, like when he's healthy, he can score for him. But he's been kind of banged up. Hasn't played the last 2 games. Against Eastern Shore, he only played 6 minutes, and he followed up the next one at Notre Dame. Played 18, hasn't come since. So he's kind of got some injury issues here. Kind of fucking with Marist and what they want to do down low there, since they do like to go inside a ton. Quinnipiac, they are pretty much a Swiss cheese inside. They're allowing what's that, 53.5% of your 54.5%, sorry, of your points come inside. Inside the arc there. They're defending it well, but teams are just driving the entire time. They're not shooting a ton of threes. Marist, I think, is they're all right, but I think missing Max Allen is just going to be too big of an issue for him. Quinnipiac, they're solid. I mean, the wins aren't impressive, but they are winning. They're doing it on the road and at home. I mean, they lost by Florida to 25. It's Florida, but Yale, they hung in there at home, lost by 7. Canisius 20 on the road. That was back in December. So I mean, outside of the Yale loss, they've had one bad loss. That was Florida. Otherwise, they've won 6 of the 7, 8 games. So I lean Quinnipiac here, but with the pace too. But I don't know. Marist, I don't know. Marist is fine, but just missing Max Allen and all those points kind of just hurts that off.
I think I actually lean Marist here. I've backed Quinnipiac a couple times and they've done me pretty dirty, but I think Marist's defense, even without Allen, like you mentioned, he's a big piece to not have on the court. He's listed as game time decision still, so I don't think he's going to end up playing yet, though.
And how effective will he be?
Right. I think he'll just be fully out. But I think where Marist has the advantages on defense, I think their defense is actually pretty good. And like you said, I think they have to take advantage of Quinnipiac's like lackluster interior defense. Marist not looking to shoot up a ton of threes. They're only they're 172nd in the country in like 3 points attempted, and 53% of their points are coming from inside anyway. So I think they're definitely just going to look to battle down low. Quinnipiac, like you said, keeps up the pace and can definitely score, but their offense isn't anything. Just because they play fast doesn't mean their offense is going to score. Their offense isn't jumping off the page for me. Whereas I think Marist's defense can definitely limit them. So laying 1.5 at home is kind of a spot that I like Marist. So I would lean them. May end up on the card. I'm not too sure yet, but that's definitely the way I'm leaning.
Yeah, I think Quinnipiac's the better team on paper, but I like Marist. Quinnipiac's won. I guess Marist won in the conference tournament against Quinnipiac last year, but both times Quinnipiac got it done last year. Total went over once, then an under, so it's right there. Conference tournament game was 75-59 Marist, so definitely not touching the 139. I think that's a little too under, but I think it's telling you what's going on with Quinnipiac running and gunning. A total at 139. This game's going to be an under, and that plays in Marist's favor. So I think their defense gets it done. Go Red Foxes, I guess. Poughkeepsie, New York. It's probably a great place. Love it.
Yeah, actually, I kind of, Nick, I'm kind of starting to like the under a little bit here. They only put up 61 points. Granted, it was on the road against Fairfield, but they only put up 61. They haven't gone crazy against on the offensive end. I mean, 61, 58, 56, 50, 76 at home against UMass. But the last three, averaging about 58 points. So, I mean, they're trying to grind you out on defense, allowing 65, 60, and then Fairfield just got whatever they wanted inside with their big man. I think maybe the under could be a solid play here. Marist is going to try to keep it slow, get a good offensive possessions. Like you said, their defense has been pretty solid. You need a team's really turning it over too much. Well, Marist does a little bit, but Quinnipiac doesn't force turnovers. So, yeah, actually, I think at under maybe a solid look, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Marist is top 50 in defense and effective field goal percentage, top 30 in turning the ball over. So even though, Quinnipiac isn't, lazy with the ball, I think you'll see Marist get a couple steals on defense, and they're limiting offensive boards too. So I think there's just going to not be a lot of second chance points in this game at all. Like both teams aren't rebounding it on the offensive glass, like almost at all. But at least, they're limiting second chance opportunities. And like you said, yeah, they're gonna grind you out on offense. They're super slow, and I think their defense is just good enough to slow Quinnipiac down just enough to, force them to play Marist style of ball. So I like laying the 1.5 or money line if you want to eat an extra 10 cents.
Up, you're on
Nope,
mute.
that's
The
one.
under's
The
sharp.
under is smacking right now.
Under's sharp. Yes.
Here, I gotta make the banner thing, but yeah, lean under in this one. We'll see how the rest of the card goes. I kind of am starting to warm up to the under in this nasty game.
Ooh, always love warming up to an under.
All right. Next game we've got Rice at South Florida. South Florida's laying 7. Over under is 145.5 here. Anybody got anything initially on this?
Over.
Yeah, I would kind of lean South Florida as well. I think I jumped on them a lot in the early season just based off their roster and like being led by Chris Youngblood, who has a fucking awesome ass name and he's really good. But I think it took them a couple games to really like find themselves and figure out, what to do with this team. Like that Central Michigan game that they dropped at home is really, really bad. But then they started ramping up, like beat Florida State on a neutral, beat Loyola Chicago at home, beat Temple at home, which is a decent win, and then was fighting with UAB on the road. They only lost by 4. But yeah, I think USF isn't like I don't know. I think they've just found themselves. I think their numbers are a bit skewed because of how bad they started the season off. I think if you could probably get the same KenPom stats for their last 6-7 games, it'd look a lot different. So I would lean USF and possibly what is the sorry, I don't have 144.5. Yeah, so I guess I would lean that way as well. South Florida's probably going to be like 75.5 or so on the team total, which like Rice lets you get up shots fast. South Florida obviously looking to play pace on offense as well. So yeah, and South Florida is free throw merchants as well. They're 60th in the country in free throws attempted per game. Top 60 in point distribution from free throws. So they love to get to the line and get a lot of extra points from the line. So if they can play that same game, knock down a couple threes, I think they'll get the cover and team total over.
Yeah, I kind of like the cover. You're talking me into it, 6.5. Rice stinks. South Florida, though, is a team that I have not really figured out too much this season. I feel like they're very up and down. Sometimes they just run and gun and just dominate, and then sometimes they just come out flat. But that's college basketball. You're going to get that everywhere. My initial leans the total, but I feel like you're talking me into riding the Bulls at home against the Uncle Ben's Rice. Trevor, you got anything? Well, Rice, South Florida is fun. That was a good conversation.
Rice is missing one of their players as well. I think he's game time decision, but he didn't play on Saturday. It's an undisclosed injury, it says, which is super fucking weird. Not that he's like a key player or anything, but he's given him, a couple points, a couple boards per game. So could be another thing to look at. But yeah, I do think South Florida, like I said, they just started so bad, which like pulled me away from betting them because I backed them 2 or 3 times and they just looked so bad. But seeing as they've been on a bit of a streak, obviously dropping that one to UAB, but prior to that, they were on a 6-game winning streak with a couple, solid wins in there. So I think they found themselves. I like South Florida.
Did you look at that UAB South Florida box score?
No, let me look.
UAB 30 of 41 at the line.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
9 of 19.
Yeah, that would be the difference in losing a 4-point
It was on the road
game.
Too. Their first road game since December 9th, which was a neutral. So they had five straight home wins, and then they lost because UAB shot 41 free throws.
Yeah, that's fucked. And USF like shot decently too. 53% inside the arc, 36% from 3. I mean, they fucking went 9 for 19 from the line, so that definitely doesn't help them either. I mean, they're shooting at 71%. Like they're not horrible from the line, but they just really dropped the ball. They're fouling that much and not making their own. So yeah, that's definitely an outlier loss. Like if UAB shot even 30 free throws, which is still fucking insane, like they would have won. So yeah, like I said, I think the USF has ramped up. I like them.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is the South Florida's got Memphis on deck after Rice. So stay away from me. These 5, 6, 7 numbers are always fishy as fuck. I mean, Kansas was 7 last night, lost outright. FAU was 6.5, 7. I think they got up to 9 today, back down. Damn near lost outright too. It's just too many points to be landing with these teams. If I'm going to bet this game, I'm going to plug my nose and bet Rice. Just pure look ahead for South Florida. I know they just lost, but they've got Memphis on deck. Like they're just looking to get past Rice. Just like, let's finish this Rice game, and then we got a real game on deck. Especially when playing Wichita, Temple, UTSA, the following games, you need this Memphis game. So that'll get their all their focus and attention. So if anything, South Florida first half, maybe they come out and just jump on Rice and then look to coast, taking their foot off the gas in the second half, and Rice somehow outscores them by like 12 in the second half and covers the spread. So that would be where I'd plug your nose and play Rice for me personally.
Yeah, I probably won't actually play it until I see
what
the team total opens up at. Maybe if it's like 74.5, I'd probably play it. I think they can get high 70s against Rice. But I would lean USF. We'll see if it drops or what it does. If it drops like a point, like definitely probably play it. These tickets are fucking expensive for USF. $40. What the fuck? They're usually like
to play Rice?
They're usually like 15.
You sure you're not looking at courtside?
Yeah, right. They don't.
I'll be on the wood at UWGB in the coming weeks. They're playing Oakland at home. Catch me on ESPN Plus.
That's worse than Rice.
Nah, dude, the Phoenix have risen. They are a good team this year.
Yeah, except in the first half. Yes, the other day.
No. Yeah, exactly. I've noticed is they start slow as shit in the first half. Like,
yeah, they covered the full game, but did nothing in the first half.
If anything, maybe after the first 10, 12 minutes of that game, you get to the under 8 media timeout, live bet Green Bay. Like, they'll either be down or they'll be, depending on who they're playing, they'll be like a couple point favorite. Then they'll just turn it on. So, yeah, Green Bay starts slow, finishes hot. Siena at Canisius. This is disgusting. I can already tell you I like Canisius. I don't give a shit. They've got Fairfield on deck, so, I mean, maybe a quote-unquote look-ahead game for them, but Siena's bad. They can rebound a little bit on the offensive glass, which is where Canisius struggles, but other than that, they don't do anything right. 24% turnover rate. Canisius, they're not elite at forcing it, but they can defend the three. They're not letting you get much inside. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong. They are allowing you to get a ton inside where Siena likes to operate. So, this is maybe I take my foot out of my mouth. I kind of Just looking at this with that Fairfield game on deck, maybe this is a little bit of a look ahead. Ain't no way in hell I'll be putting money on Siena. But if you're gonna give me 11 points with a team that can shoot the three or scores a lot inside and grabs offensive rebounds versus a team that doesn't crash the defensive glass and doesn't defend inside, plug your nose. Siena plus 11. Definitely not
See
playing this
10
game, though.
see 10.5 on DraftKings.
Oh.
I like that.
Don't bet this game, dude.
It's 10.5 now. I gotta grab it. I'm losing value here.
It's definitely it's
No.
definitely telling you
Don't do it.
that Siena can hang. I think the line should have been made a little bit more.
They can't
So-
hang, dude. They fucking suck so bad.
Dude, they stuck so bad, and this is a team that beat Ohio State in the NCAA tournament, and they were a 9 seed in like 2009 or something, like 2010 or something like that. They were a 9 seed in the tournament. This team stinks.
It's
I'll-
mind blowing how bad they are with the 3 guys on their team that like are really good, and they still just cannot manage to hang in these games whatsoever. Like
No.
Durr Gordon is really good. Ely is fucking awesome, and Emma Giroux is also balling, and even Zach Tekken is like, these guys are averaging double digits. They have 4 guys averaging double digits, and they still just can't. They cannot
It's-
cover a fucking spread.
It's one of the youngest teams too, and 360th in D1 experience. I mean, one of the
Mhm.
youngest teams, and just teams that lack exposure to the D1 environment. So I think they're an awakening, but they were pretty bad last year too, right? No, 17 and 15, not terrible.
They
This
lost
year-
their entire roster. That's why they're
This year they're
dog
going to
shit.
be the projected 5 and 26 on KenPom. I'll lean with you, Trevor, but this game stinks. Love a good the Friday Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Oh, Siena. Oh, Gonzaga just lost to Santa Clara.
GG.
77-76. Fucking
Idiots.
gazy ass Gonzaga.
Santa Clara was plus 320 live with like 2 minutes to go.
Santa
Yeah.
Clara is good, man.
Yeah, they are. Gonzaga sucks too.
They are,
I
yeah.
hope Gonzaga pisses their way out of the tournament.
Dude, BYU left the WCC a year too early. This is their year.
Who left the
I'm sure-
WCC too early?
BYU.
They were in the
Oh,
Mountain
yeah.
West, weren't they?
Wait, no, I think they were in the WCC.
They went to
Were
the
in
they
Mountain
were
West?
they were in both. They went to the Mountain
Well, then
West.
this joke's not
then
funny
the
anymore. If they were.
they went. You're right. You're right. it
Were
was the
they?
W-
Am I tripping?
They were in the Mountain
Yeah,
West
because it was just
first.
them and St. Mary's that were the only ones that gave them problems.
Yeah, they went to Mountain West. They were originally Mountain West for a long ass time. Then they went to the WCC in basketball
Mm.
for like 3 years or something like that. 5 years maybe.
Not
Gotcha.
football though.
Why would they go to the WCC in football? They're a D1 team.
That's
They
true.
don't need to go that. They got to be D1.
See, that's what I don't get too. Is why couldn't we just do the? Okay, we're getting off topic here, but why do we have to do the conference realignment and put everybody in these fucking like Washington and Oregon and shit
Money.
with exactly money? But like, do that for football. Just stop fucking with basketball. Like the fact that Oregon's gonna have to fly to Rutgers to play a conference game
It's
or
awesome.
something. Like, what the? It's funny as hell, but like, what the
Don't
hell?
forget, Stanford's gonna have to fly to fucking like Notre Dame too.
It's
to
going
play
to be a
basketball.
part of the cap,
Oh,
man.
God.
It's going to be a part of the cap next year, I think.
Or like Duke or whatever. Like
Oh,
these
yeah.
teams are gonna
The
fly
cross-country
across the
flights.
country.
Yeah.
You know what really sucks is like the poor softball and like fucking teams that like just don't
Oh,
have
the
the money.
swim team. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
those teams are screwed. I mean, if Midwest teams even have like a water polo team, but yeah, the swim diving, they're screwed. But there's enough money circulating around. This sucks. Oregon versus IU in football next year. Come on.
It's gonna be so funny. Like USC heading to Northwestern to play an 11 o'clock fucking December 19th game
On
where
the
it's
Big Ten
blizzard and-
network.
It's gonna be a fucking monsoon of fucking ice and snow.
Hey, you know what? Coming from the Pac-12, the Big Ten network is a massive step up.
Oh
From
god.
Yeah, at
Pac-12
least we
network.
won't have to fucking search the
Stream it.
internet for fucking streams to watch
Get
Pac-12.
viruses so I can
Oh,
watch
no.
fucking Washington
Cal-
State play Oregon State.
California versus Washington State on Pac12.com. But you cannot watch this game because it's an exclusive Pac-12 network.
Minnesota's up to 3.5.
It was 3. when we talked about it.
Yeah, it was 3.5 on Hard
Oh,
Rock.
I thought it was
anyway.
no. I thought it was 3.
I had
3.
3.5. I might have some
Oh.
shit
It went
numbers.
4 to 3.
That's some
It's
weird
getting all over the
books.
place.
Y'all,
Hard Rock does not want you to push. They don't offer like straight numbers. That's how it always says.
I feel like DraftKings doesn't
Dallas
really
1.5.
either. I mean,
Damn.
they do, but
Portland allowed St. Mary's to score 56 in the first half. Yeah, that's
Holy
fucked.
shit! Yeah,
Does
it's
St. Mar-
23 to 50. They're getting doubled up in the first half.
St.
has St. Mary's ever
Mary's,
even scored 56 this season? That's insane.
No.
According to shot quality, Portland's shooting 28% of their shots are bad shots. Like, good God, yeah, you're not going to lose
Yeah,
if
St.
you're shooting
Mary's-
bad shit.
St. Mary's defense is always there, but
They've been suspect, but they're I feel like St. Mary's is kind of starting to
Well, they're
gel back.
You
Like,
smell
all right,
that?
we're back to playing WCC.
St. Mary's is like,
shit team.
Gonzaga's not good this year. We got to get going, man. Fuck,
Yeah.
they got to win this thing because Santa Clara is good, and I mean,
Yeah, I think the WCC will be fun this year. Like, Gonzaga can legitimately lose to 3 or 4 teams in this conference.
yeah.
Toreros,
Yes,
The
can't forget about San Diego.
the Toreros are terrible. I love them.
Next game here, little Horizon action. Cleveland State at UW Milwaukee, laying 3, over under 158.5. And you got to play the over here. Milwaukee doesn't ever play defense whatsoever. They don't give a shit too. In conference play, number 1 2-point percentage inside the arc, but you've played Detroit Mercy, Bob Morris, and then you did play Wright State and Oakland, but those were 3 of the 4 were at home. You lost to Oakland, who put up 100 on your ass. Gave up 83 to Wright State, 75 to Rob Morris. Detroit put up 61. That has to be expected. So, I mean, Cleveland State, they're not elite at anything really. They are, but they can't shoot free throws. They don't score inside the arc. They force turnovers and grab rebounds for second chance points, where Milwaukee is 351st on the defensive glass in the country. So they're not looking to crash it. They're looking to get back and get back on offense there. Or you get what I'm saying. But on offense, they're 18th in the country. So they're crashing the offensive to get the second chance points, but they're not playing defense or putting their body in you down low on defense there. 287th effective field goal, 37.5% from 3. That's 335 in the country. Cleveland State, they can shoot the 3 ball. They grab offensive rebounds too. I don't know. I just don't know if I want to lay 3 points to Milwaukee. Like, this is a team, when they beat Chattanooga, that was an insanely lucky holdout that they had to force OT in the first place and then win that game. They got lucky. They won in overtime regardless. Bob Morris had them on the ropes a little bit. They scored enough for Wright State and then lost when they hit the road. So Cleveland State, they're 3-1 in conference play too. They're a good team. Lost to Wright State on the road, but Wright State will outscore anybody. I would lean Cleveland State in this one. It is kind of needed, and I've liked what I've seen from Cleveland State over Milwaukee so far this year. It's been kind of a little bit of luck. It looked like from Milwaukee in some of these games.
As much Horizon as I've watched this year, these are 2 teams that have just like escaped my radar completely. I think I've watched like one Cleveland State game early on in the season when they played. Nope, I lied. I haven't watched any of these games. I don't know how I've managed to watch like almost all of like Wright State and Youngstown State and haven't seen these guys at all. I honestly don't really have
teams.
I don't have a super strong opinion. I would kind of lean the over with you too. I think this is like seeing how many points these 2 score and give up per game is definitely like smells like an over for sure. The only thing that scares me is just how slow Milwaukee makes teams play against them. But like you said, their defense is so bad that you could, drain 20 seconds out of the shot clock, but then just drill a 3 or, make an easy layup against them. So I would lean the over, and I would lean 2.5 with Cleveland State catching 2.5 as well. Like, I do think they're the better team. So I would just take the possession with the better team.
I got nothing of importance to add to this, but I would like to ask the question and propose, what's the total amounts overs hit in the Horizon? I just looked at so many Horizon games, and those games are soaring, man.
I wish
Soaring.
The Bet Labs account I did have access to, whoever had it, they did not re-up the membership this year, and I've not gotten it, so I cannot go do these little fun deep dive stat checks, which sucks because BetLabs was awesome.
Yeah, that would be a fun stat to see.
Yeah.
I'd look it up.
Milwaukee is 345th in the country, though, getting their shit stuffed on offense. 13% of their possessions. Cleveland State, 62nd in the country, blocking 12% of the shots on defense. So that could be a little factor, also keeping Milwaukee out of the paint. But Milwaukee just jacks up enough threes anyway to where they're going to get some to fall and hang in the game regardless at some point. But yeah, it's ugly, but I would have to lean Cleveland State. Also, UW Milwaukee on defense, they are 336th in opponent effective possession ratio, 0.99. So, I mean, that's like getting a free throw, getting a bucket, anything. So, damn near every possession, they're getting something almost out of everything. So, the defense is almost non-existent versus 237 for Cleveland State. So, I would lean Cleveland State in this one. They feel like they need the game a little bit more. And I don't know, Milwaukee should be laying 3 points against anyone. I know they're winning, but these are not pretty wins minus the Detroit Mercy game.
Yep, I'm with you. Oh God,
Big East ball. Don't even knock it. It's Big East ball.
DePaul money line.
Dude, I like DePaul. How the fuck is Villanova laying 19 points? I don't give a shit. DePaul hung in on the road with UConn. They almost covered that number until late. It got a little out of hand.
I agree with Trev.
They did not.
This spread is huge.
They hung in the spread most of that game until late. They lost by 29 with the spread.
They lost by 29.
The spread was 24.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean hang in like, oh my God, DePaul had him on the ropes. No, DePaul had him on the ropes to cover for most of that game. That was about it.
Oh yeah, DePaul's not winning.
This line's getting to 20. I'm
probably
sprinkling
go up.
0.1 on the money line. Is the money line plus 1,000? What is it? Plus 800?
I have
10-1.
I have 1,100.
Oh yeah, that's value right there. You got to put a little bit on that.
God, they stink.
I'll take the action if you want.
I actually, I'll take the action. I'll give you 12-1. How's that sound?
I'll give you fucking 50-1 game in this fucking game.
Yeah, you know you're tempting me here.
I'll give you 2 inches off my dick if they win tomorrow.
Jesus,
1 or 2 inches. Every inch matters.
That's literally all of my dick, man.
That will be
I'd like
inside
some
my stomach. Yeah, that's for sure. DePaul is all red. Villanova's defense is very good. So
Yeah.
They'll grind you out, but
Do it.
They've already won. Villanova's already beat DePaul by 32. Now they're at home.
Easy. They'll do it again.
What the fuck? Why is it 19 if they just lost by 32?
Is Justin Moore back?
Excuse me. I'm doing wrong math. That's not 32. That's 38.
Look, I'm not sure.
36.
He's still a game time decision, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure he's game time or already announced.
Way they play.
If he's questionable, he's not going to fucking play. It's DePaul.
Yeah, they're not. Why would they risk him for DePaul? Imagine if he goes on and actually fucks himself up with playing DePaul when they've got Marquette on deck. They've got Marquette in Connecticut, St. John's. They don't care fuck about DePaul.
When's DePaul going to
give me
DePaul?
Like give me DePaul.
Never. The CUSA team. They're never good.
DePaul would be awesome in the CUSA in Coosa.
Yeah, they could be 50%.
Competitive-ish.
Yeah, they'll go.
Are they going to go to this Colonial Athletic Association or?
Hell no.
They would literally be great anywhere but Big East. They're the opposite of Big East basketball.
They'd get beat up in any power conference.
They wouldn't beat Samford. No way. They haven't made a Sweet 16 since the Hoosiers' last championship, 1987. They haven't made the tournament since 2004.
They're bad.
I was fucking 7. I was 6. I wasn't even 7 during March Madness when that happened. 2004.
It's a poverty program. They are literally terrible. Yeah. But 19.5 is fucking crazy.
They got a lot of history.
Like Villanova they both play like so slow too. Like Villanova is bottom 280 in offense in terms of length they're bottom 300 in terms of length and defense 277th. Like this game is going to have not a lot of possessions. like if DePaul can shoot like 43% from the field, like I mean 20 points is crazy.
They just lost by 26 to a team that has an actual offense in Creighton. Georgetown, they lost by 3 on the road. Connecticut, 29
They
point
play
loss
better on
West
the
Coast
road.
late.
It looks
And at
like
home,
play
they
better
beat
on the
Chicago
road.
State by 12
Hey,
with Cardet Jr.
Hey, they beat Louisville, who just beat Miami.
They beat exactly. So it's a facto. DePaul's better than Miami.
DePaul would beat Miami, yeah.
And you're going to give that team 19? Get out of here.
I don't want to bet it, but
Dude,
Fuck
do it.
that.
Let's do it.
If I'm leaning the spread, I'm taking Villanova, but I'd rather just put like 0.1 on DePaul money line just to be crazy. I don't know.
All right. Well, according to VSiN, Villanova's getting 96% of bets, 90% of money right now. So in theory,
it's
this
gotta
line
go
should
up,
just
right?
go up. Exactly.
So there's this, yeah. So it's just gonna soar to 24.
I promise you, I will have DePaul on my
no,
card.
no. It will not get that high.
23. I bet 20. I mean, 23s. I think 22 is realistic. Only 3 points.
No,
22.
I think it peaks at like maybe 21. 20 and a half is probably where it ends.
I don't think it'll go over. I don't think you're getting higher than 21 at most.
If it gets to 24, I will fucking deploy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Not.
I would
I'll
put
lose
my
by
entire account on
36
DePaul
again.
tomorrow.
Yeah, 24 is crazy.
Yeah, no, I
I'll
will.
wait,
I can
'cause I
promise
think-
you I'll be betting DePaul.
I'm gonna wait because I think it does get to probably 21, which is where I'll take it.
I like him at the 19 right now, but we're guaranteed. I shouldn't say we're guaranteed, but 99.9% chance this line's going up at least a point minimum.
I think so too.
So yeah, well, I'll add that to my card on top of my Fairfield already. Man, IPFW is just staring at me still.
Travis Diener. Shout
That's-
out
yeah.
Travis Diener. Great pluck.
Throwback.
Travis
Is his
Diener's
brother on
a
the Marquette
dog.
team right now? Is that what you're saying, Colby?
No, he's saying he's on the DePaul.
He's on the
team.
2-4, but Travis Diener from Marquette's brother. I'm drawing a.
Oh, he
haven't
was
watched
on the
Marquette in a minute.
2004 team. I fucking Travis Diener.
Travis was.
That. Okay, I misread that. Might be
Travis Diener. He was a Pacer during the Pacers like
Pacers
awful
legend.
Pacers legend Travis Diener.
Yeah, DePaul. My bad, Kobe. I was brain fart. Hit the 1 too many times apparently. That one went over my head, but
Drake Diener. Yeah, I'm looking at it. He ended up having a little Euro stretch till 2018. Holy shit! Always basketball.
damn,
coach.
14 years.
He's a basketball coach at Marion University in Wisconsin. Trevor.
Marion, Wisconsin, not Marion, Indiana.
Marion, Wisconsin. Yeah, Marion College of Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac. Where's that?
Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac. Where is it?
Fondle these nuts.
Is that a UP
Yeah, no.
city? It sounds
No,
like a
it's
UP
it's
city.
it's no, it's where I'm in Appleton, so I'm about 30 minutes south of Lambeau and Green Bay, and then if you go down about 30, 40 minutes, you'll head Oshkosh and Fond du Lac. And
Oh, so it's by Oshkosh. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'm sure you've heard UW Oshkosh, the legendary Sloshkosh,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
of course.
Isn't your boy G Unit by Oshkosh?
G Unit,
He's from Oshkosh, right?
He went to UW Oshkosh.
Gotcha.
He's from Hortonville, which is about, I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so from me, outside of Appleton. So
He's
yeah,
probably
he's
probably ripping a steak right now.
oh, he's definitely at shit. Where the fuck is
Texas
that?
Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. I was gonna say Applebee's. Yeah,
Listen,
Texas Roadhouse ripping a nice
he-
8-ounce
is he-
prime rib.
Is his VSiN show not tonight? It was
I
last
don't know.
night.
I'm just fucking
think it's-
around.
I think he
think
does like a
last night.
6-hour podcast for Saturdays and shit,
Dude, it's
and then
it's
he'll like
5
go out for
hours.
dinner. Yeah, it's insane.
I'll tell you what, that's a good chain restaurant to pick. Roadhouse fucking rocks.
Texas Roadhouse is my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, Kobe, you're
restaurant.
from you're from Wisconsin. Don't you live in Appleton too, or is this a different Kobe from the Discord I was talking to? But regardless, yes, he's Kobe knows all about UW Oshkosh and Sloshkosh. It sounds like.
We have games left.
Yes, we do. We got
Can we
4
get
to run
Texas
through.
Roadhouse to
There's 3.
sponsor us? We need to get Texas Roadhouse to
If they're not
sponsor
sponsoring G Unit, they're not sponsoring us. That's
Yeah,
number one.
That's
on their
true.
number.
that's a fucking fact.
Hey, but you never know.
Wright State. Yeah, no, you never know. But if G Unit's not sponsored, they're not even sniffing at us. He's the main.
It's my favorite restaurant though. It's so unbelievable value. Talk about value so much. That's the value.
This is a value
big ass
podcast.
steak, 2 sides, $14.99. Fucking say less.
Can't beat that. You got lunch for the next day too. Wright State and Youngstown State. This one is at Youngstown, so this will be a third road game in a row for Wright State. They're coming off a 106-98 drumming at Fort Wayne, 101-76 drumming at Robert Morris. This will be arguably their best defense they've seen on this trip. You could argue IPFW, but IPFW can't rebound, so you're getting a ton of points there. But I think Wright State, are they going to put up 101 again?
Give me the over.
Probably.
Over. They're not playing defense. I mean, it's not like Youngstown plays tremendous defense. They're giving up points from the 3. It's not where Wright State likes to go. They like to pound it inside, but I mean, Wright State's just rolling right now.
I don't understand.
This is the stat that I've seen Nick point this out. It's not about so much the pace of offense, but the pace of the defense, right? And the pace of defense. And this is where I think Wright State and Youngstown State is where it's leaning the over. I know 166 points. You're like, oh my God, that's a lot of points, right? And to me, that's scary, but shit, man. This game's going to be like 86-85, something like that.
Yeah. I don't understand how Wright State is this good at shooting a 3, but only 23% of their points are coming from outside the arc.
Yeah.
Like they're top 15 at 3-point percentage. Like they drill 3s. They just don't shoot any. I mean, maybe they're just like legit only shooting wide open 3s. Yeah. I don't, like you said, I don't know how often you can keep putting up triple digits in regulation in these games, but I mean, they could put up 85, and I think Youngstown will be able to, somewhat keep up. So I like the game total over here too. I mean, it's fucking high as hell, but Wright State is just like strictly an offense only team, like second in effective field goal percentage, 27th in offensive efficiency. But you look at their defense, they're giving up 56.5% effective field goal percentage, 338th in adjusted efficiency on defense, 56.7% of 2-point shots are going in, 37.5% of 3-point shots are going in for opponents. Like they just don't play defense at all. They're literally just looking to run and gun and shoot. So I mean, Youngstown State put up fucking, like you said, like Youngstown State put up 93 on IPFW, who like is a solid team, and Wright State's defense is for sure worse, and is just going to look to just keep pushing it. So, yeah, I see like high 80s game for sure.
Stylistically, Wright State and IPFW are kind of similar. Just no defense.
You give up 82 to Miami, Ohio. If you give up 82 points to Miami, Ohio, first off, they stink. If you give up 70 points or 98 to IPFW, 76 to Robert Morris, and that's a shellacking, 88 to Green Bay, 91 to Milwaukee. Come on.
Hey, no Green Bay slander.
Youngstown State.
No Miami, Ohio slander either.
They did win us money.
We have no points.
Tweeted it. I tailed though. They did beat Buffalo, but God, Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, recency bias, no slander. They beat the fuck out of Buffalo. But
I'm not overthinking this one. You know that live total is going to get to the 170s.
Oh, Youngstown's favored. Right? Youngstown's favored 1.5. Yeah, their team total is 83.5. Wright State 82.5.
Yeah, because they're
juiced under.
Juiced under.
Yeah, over 82.5 minus 105, under minus 125 for both.
The Sharps will take the under because it's 166 points.
This type of decision makes me really like want to fucking die, because I don't know what to take in that spot. Like I want to take Wright State team total because 82.5 is like something that they can just easily clear with like 5 minutes left in the game. But then like the game total, like then what? Because I like the game total too, but I'm obviously not going to bet both. But if I bet one and not the other, and the one I don't bet hits, like, and the one I do bet misses, I just want to die.
Right, Youngstown can actually rebound, unlike Robert Morris and IPFW, though. That could be the issue here. is grabbing rebounds. I mean, it's not like Wright State's grabbing like a shit ton of rebounds every single time down the floor and scoring that way. Like they're making shots too, but if Youngstown's going to grab 5-6 extra rebounds and take away some possessions from Wright State, that could slow down the offense a little bit. Potentially in a perfect world, take away 5 possessions. That's up to 15 points. Off the 3 ball. I mean, that's perfect world of taking away points. But I mean, they can still score regardless. But I mean, if they're the rebounding is kind of what I'm looking at most in this matchup, just because IPFW, one of the shortest teams in the country, they're not going to stop you on the glass. Robert Morris, they don't give a shit on the defensive end, which is they put up 101. So I don't know. I can't take an under with these teams though, but it is 165 now instead of 166 on my book, so it's actually gone down.
Yeah, just give me Wright State team total. Fuck it.
Yeah, I would actually just take Wright State outright. Although this is their 3rd road game in a row.
I mean, if it's 82,
could this be an under like UNC?
If it's 82 and the game under goes to like 164 with the movement, you might be able to get an 80. Even 2.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is dropping right now, but I don't know. Third road game, not a big fan. Youngstown State's got Oakland on deck on the road, so maybe a tad bit of a look ahead, but you can't look ahead with Wright State.
Nick, we need to go to Youngstown State game. That stadium's awesome. It is so cool.
I'm down to do some fucking Horizon League Big Ten action trips.
Yeah, I can do it in a day too. The Beagley Center, man, that thing it's like a auditorium. It's freaking nice. That place gets rocking. That place can get rocking.
Yeah, I'm down
for the 800 people that are allowed in. But what else we got? I got to go to bed soon. what
Two
else
games.
we got?
Two more.
Two good games. Good games. Nebraska at Iowa. Iowa's laying 3.5 over unders 166. I like Iowa and the over. I was looking at this game earlier. Let's see here. Nebraska. They are in conference play. Effective field goal percentage 56.2. That's 14th. Their 3-point defensive percentage 43%. That's 14th. They're number 1 at the free throw line. They're shooting 80%, but they're giving up a ton of assisted baskets. Like the ball movement has been superb. 65% of teams of defensive possessions end in an assist per field goal made. So I mean, they're just they're getting open shots to people. They're finding the open guy against this defense. Teams are jacking up a ton of threes on them because they can't defend it. What the fuck does Iowa like to do? Jack up threes and score and just run and gun. I guess 3-pointers are only scoring 24%, which is odd. They're getting a lot inside, but in conference play, I mean, they're not really playing any defense. Nebraska can score, but I don't like the fact that Nebraska, their 3-point defense is so poor. We know Iowa can jack them up and make them. They're shooting 35% from 3. They're not shooting a ton of them. So, I mean, we'll see if they want to pound it inside, but I think Iowa's favored by 3.5 for a reason. This is a Nebraska team that just knocked off Purdue. So you got that letdown. The last time they left home, they lost to Wisconsin. Granted, I'm not going to compare Wisconsin to Iowa right now, but they lost that game by 16 points. Before that, they went to Kansas State. They won, out of conference play. Minnesota lost on the road by 9. So, I mean, like the Big Ten, obviously they know each other. They hit the road. They have not won yet in conference play. I think Iowa's laying 3.5 for a reason. They don't turn the ball over at least. They're good at the free throw line. So, I mean, I think this is just a nice letdown spot. Iowa, get right. 3.5 is a lot of points, especially for an Iowa team that people have been down on this year. So I would actually lean it for a reason. Same thing with TCU last night. They were 4 points they opened up or something, and felt like a lot of points, but at the end it didn't matter because they won by like double digits. So I think similar to that, I think Nebraska's a little bit of a letdown spot after beating Purdue by 16 points. Now you're going to travel to Iowa, play a fast tempo, up pace team. I think Iowa gets this done tomorrow, personally.
Yep, I'm with you. I think Iowa's going to be able to just run and gun with Nebraska. I think Nebraska's defensive pace is just going to get that's not going to be a factor here either. So I like the over. I think you're not going to be able to slow Iowa down. That's just like how they play. So yeah, I see a lot of 3-pointers being jacked up this game, a lot of points. I think Iowa wins like 89, like 82 or something like that, 83, whatever. So yeah, I'm with you on the over. And I like Iowa minus 3.5.
Yeah, give me
4 now.
Iowa. Give me Iowa here. I still see 3.5. Wait, right?
Yeah, I have 3.5.
Yeah, I have 3.5. I'm gonna
Hurts
take
about
Iowa
short.
here. I see 3.5 on MGM, 4.5 on DraftKings, but I mean, I still not afraid of 4.5 either. I think this is going to be a game where I think it's the home team here and with the advantage. I was traveling earlier today when Colby and CJ were talking, and I actually really like one of the home Big Ten favorite parlay. Just take on IU and Iowa money line, but I really like this play of minus 3.5 better than I do the IU play. I mean, I know I'm a fan of IU, so that makes it tough, but I much rather like that. And I think the 164, and I see 164.5 on FanDuel, while other ones are at 165, 166. So that place is going to it's going to be to 166 for sure. So yeah, give me the over here in Iowa as well. I think that's the play. Nebraska's going to be hung over. They're a good team, and it's fun to see those guys cooking. They haven't cooked since Duran Petaway and Tim Miles and those guys. Hoiberg's got them going. Um, this is going to be a fun game, fast pace. I think Nebraska can definitely be in the lead this game and be competitive, but Iowa just gets it done with the home court advantage, and just like we saw with Rutgers, right? They were kind of ahead, then they gave it back up to Rutgers. They need this win too. They're not doing too good this season. It'd be a nice win for them, especially with Nebraska just beating Purdue at home. So I see a little hangover here. I can see a spot where Nebraska drops 2 maybe to Iowa and Rutgers, and then comes back on their home stretch and gets the job done, and also beats Maryland at home. So it's just how the Big Ten is, right? You win one, you lose one most of the time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I don't mind that money line parlay that you were talking about, IU and Iowa, but I don't want to back out Indiana in any way with Purdue on deck. That's the biggest game of the year for them every single year, and it's going to be at Assembly. I want no part of that. So I think they win, but do I want to risk that look ahead? No. Minnesota's been a solid team this year so far, and they've gone on the road and won too. So
Bro,
no,
they went
thank you
on the
there.
road to Michigan,
Hey, Big Ten is
just like
still
IU did.
still. Michigan was up on Maryland at half. I mean,
Okay, congratulations. They still blew it like they always do. I mean, holy cow. Minnesota has their first test um ish other than Nebraska at home. But a home game's different. They lost by 10 to Ohio State on the road. Ohio State's nowhere near as loud as Assembly Hall and how jumping it is. I think
it
Assembly
was
gets it
that
done.
day.
No, it's a Value City Arena. That place snooze fest. I'm just kidding. It's a good place to catch a game. I've seen one game there.
Last game of the day. Little Mountain West action. Can't go wrong. Big time program Nevada hosts Boise State. Nevada laying 6.5. Nevada is 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 games that have got a line. They played a D2 school. They won by 34. I mean, they didn't cover last game against Air Force, 14 points. They won by 13. Otherwise, they covered 6 at Fresno, 6 at Georgia. Those were the neutral site in Hawaii. 6 against Georgia Tech. They beat TCU outright. And Temple in Hawaii. They all covered those. They did lose to Drake outright December 9th. That was their last loss. So they're on an 8-game win streak here. They've got San Diego State on deck on the road too. So granted, I don't think they're looking past Boise State much at all. But Boise just beat Colorado State at home. Now they're going to Nevada. This is another big game I think they're going to get up for. Dagenhart, Rice, Omar Stanley, like they got guys. Nevada, I think they're looking ahead a little bit. I mean, you're asking to lay 6 points against a Boise State team that's better than Fresno and Georgia Tech, who they laid 6-2. I get it's in Nevada, but I think Boise State is kind of getting it going here. They just like I said, beat Colorado State at home by 8. They beat North Texas, St. Mary's, VCU, lost to Butler on a neutral, beat San Francisco. Like they play good teams. They've beaten them this year. I think it's just another test. It'll be a tight game, but I think 6.5 points with Nevada is just a tad too much there for a Boise State game or a team that's going to come in fired up, ready to play. And Nevada looking ahead to San Diego State potentially a little bit here. Last year, Boise State did lose at home against Nevada last too. So this could be a little bit of a revenge spot for Boise State. But Boise State did lose at Nevada earlier by 2 last year, so it was a tight game.
I'm with you, and I think it's a little too high for me to back Nevada. But one thing that I really rode last year with these Mountain West teams is them at home just like seem to win games. I don't know the numbers on it. I could look and see what Mountain West ATS like at home records are, but I just feel like they don't lose at home, so I don't really want to take either side because I do think Nevada is a really solid team, and Boise State last year, like they were fucking wagons for us. Like you said, Degenhart, the other kid on their team, Max Rice, like hit a fucking legacy 3 for us one time. And just like, I love that team because of those two specifically. So I do think that Boise State will cover the 6.5, but I'm just not going to bet it because these Mountain West teams at home just like don't lose. Obviously Nevada can win and Boise State will cover, it's over 2 possessions on the spread, but I'm going to watch this one and just kind of see how Nevada plays against Boise State and vice versa. So I lean Boise State might look at the over just because I can see it being, a 72-70 game or something like that. So 140 seems kind of low, even though both of them don't play very fast, like at all for that matter. But I just think the offenses are pretty efficient. So when they get, open looks, they're going to knock them down. I trust them to score, score their buckets and get their own. So that would be more of a lean for me to play like an actual play the over, but lean Boise State, but I'll stay off.
Yeah, I will probably fire on Boise State if we're being honest. I like the spot for them coming in off of a good win against Colorado State. Now you're going to Nevada. Nevada's got San Diego State on the road on deck. They don't crash the offensive glass too much, and Boise State loves taking away second chance opportunities from you. So I think it'll probably be a little bit of a grind fest, but I think Boise State's going to at least cover this, and I think they're probably live a little bit. I don't know, just got that feeling that Nevada's, they've won 8 straight. They're rolling. They're feeling good, but this will be the toughest team they've seen since TCU on a neutral. Yeah, give me Boise State with the 6.5. I'm probably gonna fire on that right now. 6.5. Yeah. I'm gonna take that for sure. Is my little nightcap 9:30. Gotta bet it.
I just looked like at straight up. I'm like on team rankings, and I just filtered it to 23 to oh, this can't be right though. What the fuck? 22 to 23 like home games. Let's see. Sorry, I got baited by that set. Nevada was 14-1 straight up at home last year. Like these Mountain West teams just don't drop these games, which like I agree with you that Boise State could be live because they're such a good team that like with them winning wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. I just feel like for some reason these Mountain West teams just like clutch up at home and they will like only drop games on the road.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of like Nevada to cover here, honestly. I think they can win by 8 or 9. I know Boise State's a really good team, and I like betting them. And Boise State normally grinds you out, really makes you shoot. You know, they got to make you make shots because they're gonna grind you out and have a low scoring affair. Um, I kind of like the over here, but I think it's gonna be sweaty. This is gonna get down to 139 maybe. I think people will initially take the under, but for how well they're shooting the ball, I think and Nevada shoots mostly inside the perimeter. on their distribution of points. So Boise State's got to be able to defend that because that's their weak spot in their defense. So kind of like Nevada, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think 6.5 is a lot of points for the Wolfpack, and but yeah, I don't know. The over under is perfectly priced, but I think they can sneak over. You know what I mean? 74, 69, something like that. 74, 66,
I'll take 74,
76,
69.
70. Yeah, there's your cover.
Yeah, I think 6.5 is just too much points for Boise. I mean, they're a good team. Like they're gonna get up for this game. And I know maybe I'm banking a little too much on this look ahead spot to San Diego. It's Boise, they're not gonna look ahead, but you got San Diego State on deck on the road, so it's just obviously they're gonna
It's
be
true.
they know it's coming up.
And Nevada's 10-3-1 as the home team ATS last year.
Damn.
And they were 9-3-1 ATS as home favorites. So and
What were they laying on average? Or does it not say?
It doesn't say. Wait, I actually do think it says. I don't know what this is. Oh, margin of victory. Sorry. Last year was 10.5 as a home favorite. They won by 10.5. And the only reason I think that's yeah, the only reason I feel like that's sort of relevant is because like obviously I'm looking at last year's stats because we don't have that big of a sample size now, but they're 6th in the country in D1 experience. So I assume they returned a lot of production from last year. So
yeah,
this game has gone over one. This game has gone over 140 head to head. Let's see. 139 last time in the conference, 146, 141, 144, 140, 155, 160. That's going a little too far back though. So I think the total is going to be priced around there, but I think that's going to be a sweaty kind of get right over with Nevada getting in the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is Boise's got some big guards to kind of keep Keenan Blackshear in check too. Granted, he's 6'6". They've got some 6'5" guards. I mean, you got Max Rice at 6'5", Cam Martin 6'9", Robbie Anderson 6'3". He's the shortest guy on their team at 6'3". So I mean, like they got some guys that can, the length and whatnot to kind of disrupt Blackshear in this offense a little bit. So it'll be, I think, probably it might be game of the day. I mean, this is gonna be a damn good game. I know there's two
Great
Big Ten games on, but this is gonna be fun as hell to watch. So I can't wait.
Great nightcap. This is the best game, in my opinion. And I think
I love
Dayton
Mountain West
Duquesne is
Fridays.
sneaky too, but it's up
Yeah,
there.
no, there's some low-key, there's some good games on tomorrow. Like last week, there were good games, but they were pretty hefty on just two of them, the Butler UConn game and whatever the other game was. But yeah, some good games tomorrow. And yeah, we just went over the whole slate. Actually, we got one game, Florida Gulf Coast, Kennesaw State. I like Kennesaw State in this one. I like what they've been doing offensively. They had excuse me, Indiana on the ropes on the road. Asheville, they played tight on the road. They played Asheville twice already. They beat Asheville at home by 3, and then they lost by 9 on the road. Now you get Florida Gulf Coast at home, who beat Florida Atlantic. Good win. Beat Jacksonville. Then you lost to North Florida, lost to Queens. Now you're going to head to Kennesaw State, fastest team in the country. They're going to keep you moving. They can shoot the 3 ball. Florida Gulf Coast does not defend the 3 ball whatsoever. They're giving up a ton of 3 ball attempts. They don't rebound well. They turn it over a ton. Kennesaw State forces turnovers. I think Kennesaw State just kind of runs them out the gym with this one tomorrow. I don't have a line on this because it's not put up on my book. So if someone has a number, it'd be sweet.
God, no. Rob Donaldson said there's a massive snowstorm in Iowa. Could potentially get moved to the morning or the canceled altogether.
The Iowa game? Oh, obviously.
Mhm.
Well, that would be cool. Like 12 o'clock Big Ten action on a Friday.
Right. I don't know about Kennesaw State. I have no read, to be honest. I think FGC Kennesaw is a really good team. FGCU is is very helter skelter and just up and down. So I don't know. Nope, no bet for me.
Fair. I mean, do you have the line on your books? It's not popped up on mine yet. Go figure.
I think it's 5.5.
5.
Let's see.
I'll still take it. I mean, Kennesaw scoring from 3. They're forcing turnovers. Florida Gulf Coast doesn't hang on to it. They don't defend the 3 ball well. They don't shoot free throws well.
Yeah, Kennesaw
Um,
State's laying 5.5. Yeah.
I mean,
Ah,
Kennesaw State's not shooting well either, but they
just
play
take the
incredibly
over.
fast.
Yeah, take the over. But Florida Gulf Coast doesn't play low. I don't know. I'm not betting this tomorrow. I'm gonna be studying up for Saturday and just have a few bets out tomorrow and nothing crazy, especially not this game. But I think the over might be the play, even with Florida Gulf Coast pace. But yeah, I think Kennesaw can sneakily win by 7 or 8.
Yeah. Yep, I like Kennesaw on that one personally. I love backing a team that can shoot the ball and forces turnovers versus a team that kind of struggles on the offensive end, can't hang on to the ball. They don't shoot. Neither team shoots free throws well, but if you don't have the ball, you're not going to get fouled to shoot free throws anyway. So, not to mention FGC plays at a slow pace. Kennesaw kind of middle of the pack at grinding you out a little bit. And they're at home, so I mean, I at home they've been awesome. They haven't lost a single game. On the road, they have won, or they're 2-5 on the road. So Kennesaw, much better home team. Florida Gulf Coast, much better home team as well. They've lost 2 home games all year. Otherwise, on the road, they've won 1 game, and that was at FIU and by 3. I think Kennesaw State's a better team than FIU. Give me the points. You know, maybe I bet this. Who knows? But stronger lean to Kennesaw.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's the Friday slate. So thanks everyone for popping in and whatnot. We will be back Saturday morning for the show. We'll try to be a little bit more up tempo and moving along for sitting there for 2.5
Yeah,
hours.
we gotta
Yeah,
wrap. Yeah,
yeah.
we gotta go.
Appreciate everyone popping in and whatnot, and good luck with your bets. And we
Let's
will
win.
see you next time. Peace.
See
Do
you
it.
tomorrow. Have a good weekend.